Season 1, Episode 4. We have an origin story.
Yeah.
And a very slow, simmering, low burn episode at the same time. This episode was, to me, there was a lot of, I feel like there was some tension in it. Or at least some, maybe tension is the wrong word. It was very heavy feeling to me. Mm-hmm. But it was also very low feeling too. So, and to be honest with you, at the end of this episode, I'm a little bit sleepy. I enjoyed the episode, but it very much dropped down my power levels when I was watching it. How did you feel about it?
Kind of the same. It was definitely kind of a slow burn. The pacing was kind of lethargic. Like the cuts, they were cutting between really just three things: the Luke Cage and Connie and under the wreckage of the restaurant, prison scenes, mm-hmm. and the detectives trying to suss things out. And those were the three things they were cutting through, and none of the cuts came off of or fed into any action or climactic kind of events. It was just kind of boom, information, cut, boom, information, cut, boom, information, cut. The music was really toned down. Mm-hmm. I felt like there were several incidents in the prison where, they had fights and shankings and, and they didn't really use the music to make that more intense at all. So it was all very kind of just a grind, which I guess maybe they were trying to do that because it was so prison focused. Mm-hmm. It was like a grind, wearing Luke Cage down kind of thing.
Well, it's kind of it's what Pop said, he went on hold for 10 years. I think that maybe, I like this episode, but yes, like I said, when I got done, I was very kind of low, which maybe is what they're trying to get you to feel, but it very much, everything's muted. He does, I don't know, there's just a really low level of, maybe not power, but of kind of engagement. Mm-hmm. But then again, I guess if you're in prison, it's not like you're super engaged the whole time. It's not a positive experience. So maybe that's what they're going for. Yeah, it's trying to give you that feel of just nothingness that's happening the whole time.
Right. The one thing I guess you could say they set up pretty well was the extreme mental fortitude of Luke Cage, because that was most of it. He wasn't transformed till the very end of the thing. So they really set up, he's got a lot of willpower and he's a smart guy. He plans things, and they did establish that pretty well. Interesting origin stuff, the law enforcement mm-hmm. background. I was expecting more of the gang member Luke Cage background, but this was something that happened while he was in law enforcement. So now we know he had that law enforcement, and in the previous episode we had heard about him being good at finding people. So that's all coming together, and if he ends up being more of a kind of hero for hire, private investigator kind of guy later on, this kind of is the background for that. We meet Riva. Mm-hmm. Not what I was expecting, because I thought Riva was either in the picture in his life before prison or after prison, but it came out of prison. And there's some trust issues there because she was aware of, if not involved in, experiments on prisoners in the Seagate prison.
Yeah. Which kind of changes the dynamic of, his vision of her from what you see. It's they imply she was the love of his life. Mm-hmm. Again, he's been put on hold since she got killed by Jessica Jones. Mm-hmm. And it seems like maybe she isn't the angel perfect person that they implied. Because they even, she's in there helping prisoners. She's, forming support groups. They set her up as being this great person, and she seems like she's a good person, but it seems like she's not completely clean.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either she's making bad choices or it's a ends justify the means kind of thing happening. And we saw the Squabbles, who slowly over time became his friend in the episode, mm-hmm. his confidant, his advisor, and then they killed him.
That seems to be a theme for Luke Cage. Yeah. Every time someone seems to support him, that he seems to have someone to, that has his back, Pops, Squabbles, his wife, they're dead.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if that's going to be a recurring thing with him, is finally the walls come down. Finally, he makes a friend. Finally, he gets some type of support, and then crap hits the fan again.
And then, just real quick, the intercut scenes with the detectives. Again, I don't feel like they moved anything ahead with them at all. Like, they watched surveillance video, and saw that a rocket hit the place.
Mm-hmm.
And then they found, I guess, a SUV leaving. So links cottonmouth to it, but like they said,
already assumed that to start with.
And we as the viewers already knew that. So now it's kind of like, well, those didn't really move anything ahead. I honestly thought we were going to get a scene of the bad detective, like tampering with evidence or stealing the videotape or, something like that.
It looks like he called and told Cottonmouth.
Yeah, he did. It
seems like he's a smart, crooked detective. Like, it doesn't feel like, he did kill somebody. So, his hands aren't completely clean, obviously, but it feels like he's not the cookie cutter bad detective. Like, he's doing this because he wants probably money and safety and all that stuff. So he's not just doing ridiculous stuff all the time.
And then we had Shades in the prison, right? And so, do you feel like it almost felt like a Clark Kent thing to me because we've seen in previous episodes Shades not initially recognizing Luke Cage, and then when he kind of puts it together, not having a very dramatic response to realizing who it was.
Well, I wonder if he does recognize him because, Luke Cage was fully bearded and everything, and now he's completely clean shaven. So, he has a little bit different appearance and...
Yeah, well, that's where I'm going out with the Clark Kent.
Yeah, I guess he is 6'4", so you think he would stick out in that way, but...
Yeah, he's a huge guy. He hasn't changed his voice. That felt a little stretchy to me, but it's okay, I guess. So at the end, in the transformation scene, I just feel like that wasn't as dramatic as it could have been.
It felt rushed to me a little bit, because it's. I realized maybe. Obviously, that's not what they're focusing on. But it seems like that should have been a huge traumatic event, and it was. But it was like 5 seconds. The guy turned the knob, stuff exploded, he crawled out, and he's Luke Cage.
Right.
There wasn't because I'm thinking of other things I've seen. I realized that relating to a movie maybe isn't good, but you look like Captain America, that whole scene seems so much more, the transformation, so much more traumatizing for the lead character and so much more other stuff related to it.
Or the Deadpool one.
That was savage. That was, yes. So I'm wondering if, obviously everything they do is for a decision. I'm wondering if their focus is not on that, or if it's because of the tone of the whole episode, they didn't want to flip it and make it into this huge crazy thing on because of the muted way they were trying to direct it. I don't know, but yeah, it's that I was kind of surprised because it just felt like, origin done, and it didn't quite feel like with the impact I was hoping for it.
They did have a cool, post-transformation homages happening because he breaks out of the prison, goes to someone's backyard or something. He's wearing part of the headpiece from the machine, and it looks like the classic Luke Cage headband and the arm bracers or whatever they're called. Didn't have time to take those all off, I guess. Steals someone's yellow blouse, puts it on, and now he looks like, looks at his reflection, and he looks like classic old school Luke Cage. And then, of course, they do the whole "you look ridiculous" thing, and he takes it off. So that was cool homage. I like that a lot.
Well, as you can tell from our kind of energy level, the episode kind of left us in a low power state. I'm hoping the next episode, because it's going to flip around, I'm hoping the next episode's an action episode, because I think I need to get my energy back to keep going on with the series.
Yeah, we need to ramp this up.
So that was our review of episode 4, season 1, Luke Cage. And you guys, thanks for watching.
Thanks.